Deadlights Pod.
Welcome to the Deadlights Podcast. I'm your host, Sam.
And I'm your other host, Leslie. And we're bringing you another week of horror with... Nate!
Welcome,
Hey.
Thank you for having me. This is a treasure and wonder. Thank you.
It's great to have you. We've been wanting to get you in for a bit, and glad you could be here.
Hell yeah.
Glad you could
It's
be here.
wonderful.
It's just so the listeners know, besides being a Deadlights podcast listener, we met
just dead.
a dead listener. Besides being dead, we met you through the horror movie trivia that we
Yes.
do every month, and you've been someone that's pretty much come to, I think, almost every trivia. I think I can only think of a couple times where I haven't seen you there.
Yes. Yeah, only a handful. And every time it's a disappointment that I couldn't make it, knowing full well how fun it is. Like, it's every time.
It is a party.
It's a party.
It's
and
different.
we appreciate you coming every time, and also
So-
being here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've known you for about now a year.
Has it been
Isn't
that
that
long?
crazy?
That
Yeah.
Time has flown.
About a year. We're coming up on our, I think this month's will be our 13th trivia. So yeah, like 12 months,
Wow.
13 months of doing trivia.
It's not felt that long. It is.
No,
It's been-
flown
it's a
by
sh-
so fast.
It's wild. It's
It's
wild. It's been
crazy.
great. It's been great to get to know you through the trivia and just talking horror movies with you. So I'm glad we can get it on tape now.
Yes.
Of us
It's official.
actually
Our
having a
friendship is
discussion.
It's
official.
official. Yeah, our friendship it's solidified.
We can't deny it now. It's on the pod. So
If
Welcome.
it's on the pod, it's true.
true.
Oh shit.
Maybe one day we should go to a resort together. Just
Oh.
like in this movie that we just watched.
What did we watch?
We watched Infinity Pool from 2023. Written and directed by Brandon Cronenberg. James and M. Foster are enjoying an all-inclusive beach vacation in the fictional island of Tolqa when a fatal accident exposes the resort's perverse subculture of hedonistic tourism, reckless violence, and surreal horrors.
And boy, was it perverse.
That is true. We definitely got to some perverse spaces in this movie.
From the wahoo.
Wow. I guess just to start off this podcast, have either of you ever been to an all-inclusive resort before?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I have not.
No?
No. And this movie does not make me want to do it.
Like this exactly.
Like this exactly. Yeah. I've been to one in Mexico before, and honestly, it was sick as hell. I definitely recommend it.
Look, Mexicans know how to keep the party going.
They really do.
Wow.
They really do. And in an all-inclusive resort, when you can just get the tequila flowing whenever you want, and tacos wherever, and
Yum, 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 yum.
entertainment everywhere. Pretty great, honestly. Very different experience that I had than they had in this movie, for sure.
I always recommend it when you're going to another country that is going to not be so expensive and you can budget for something this luxurious, lavish. I've done a Cancun all-inclusive.
That's right.
And that was just a lot of fun. It's just super fun. And I'm always guiding people. If you're going to like go and do like a Las Vegas kind of thing, you can spend less money going to Cancun and having, if not more fun.
Honestly, yeah.
I would certainly
I
hope
don't know.
so.
The better weather, too. You're in the Gulf
Yes.
as well.
You're next to the freaking ocean. You can see your toes in the water.
I think the important thing, too, when doing these things is
Losing your fucking mind.
lose your fucking mind, but also have respect for the people that are there. Have respect for the country, which we didn't really see much of that in this movie.
What do
That
you
got people into
mean?
some pretty dark places. Zoinks.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, definitely respect. Like if you're traveling out, you have to be respectful. You're not going to be given the customer service that you so receive in America because it's guided towards benefiting the white people essentially. So
Rich ass white people, the tourists that are coming to spend money. Because, quite honestly, a lot of these countries rely on tourism as their main financial source to do anything in the country. So they are somewhat dependent on people coming and visiting and going to these resorts. But then what happens when the rich white people realize that and can take advantage of that? And this movie was definitely a horrific picture of what it can become.
Yeah.
Should we get into it?
Let's get into
All
it.
right, let's open the can.
Ka-chow.
Chowder. The filmmaking. So just to start off the filmmaking, we have a movie that is written and directed by Brandon Cronenberg, who's the son of David Cronenberg.
The little baby.
Little baby Cronenberg. And so we've seen Cronenberg on this podcast before, and so I'm glad we're getting his son in here as well, because he's just got a couple movies under his belt. We talked about Possessor. Antiviral was one of his first films as well, which I've never seen. This was actually my first experience with Brandon Cronenberg just in general. So it's cool to see, because I can see some David Cronenberg-esque things going on in here, but not completely. There's definitely some different things that he's bringing into his own aesthetic. And I really enjoyed a lot of the filmmaking that was going on in this film.
God, it looked beautiful.
Everything, the shots, the color, the angle, the feeling, just the aura itself that is not seen.
And I think, too, what I liked about this film is a lot of things that he set up in the beginning, he carried through the entire time. Because a lot of times you see, films kind of start off with a certain aesthetic and then kind of fall off at the end because it's hard to make an aesthetic go through an entire film. Yep. But I liked just visually how he took us through this story, because we start off on this beautiful resort and a lot of really bright colors, bright whites, a lot of light, that kind of clean kind of resort look that we get. And then once James, Alexander Skarsgård, hits the native person with his car, everything becomes dark and blue and cold. After we realize what actually is going on this island, where he can just double himself and that double can get executed in his place, everything becomes a lot more surreal. And then we're getting really bright reds, really bright blues, yellows, wild editing, a lot of overlays. The aesthetic changed as the story changed and developed, which I thought was very, very cool.
Yes. Even at the very beginning, where you have the twisting and the angle showing the foreboding of what something is wrong here. There's something not right with this place. But you don't know what that is until it unravels with the story.
Where are we?
This was your idea, remember? Feeling inspired yet?
I also love the usage of mirrors, and there's a lot. Were you about to say that?
I was thinking it.
Lots of imagery of reflections from blood or the table. Windows, just like very abstract, very peering, like we're like flies on the wall.
Voyeuristic.
Yeah, very voyeuristic. And I just, I love those. And we had, as the film progressed, you mentioned it gave us a lot more of those obscured, voyeuristic kind of things. Because like our character is losing his fucking mind. Absolutely, he doesn't know who he is anymore.
If he ever did.
Yeah.
If he ever did.
Do you worry they got the wrong man?
Oh, God.
Do you think, looking back on it, that they killed the real James?
Do you fear you may have just witnessed your own demise?
I can only hope.
Something that he pulls through the whole film are these extreme close-ups. Eyes, skin. We're talking about creating doubles of ourselves, so the actual anatomy is very much focused in on. But what I like about those shots of how close they are and like almost not even being able to find the focus is kind of going towards that. Like he's losing sight of who he even is. So that's something that he's pulling aesthetically through the whole film, and it goes towards what we're talking about, which is losing sight of who you actually are. So that was another just visual kind of storytelling element that he has in there that carried through the whole film.
I'll never know if I'm really myself for as long as I live.
Exactly. So who cares?
Well, I think we should go to the meat because that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yum, 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 yum.
Because you're right. We're talking about classism and class and the privilege that comes with being rich in a country that, like I kind of mentioned before, is dependent on you to come and spend money at these resorts. And so there is this kind of God complex when it comes to just in real life, when it comes to you as a rich person going to these countries and having some sort of power over how these people live.
Are you aware of the revised process of doubles act for international visitors and diplomats? For a significant sum, the state will build double to stand in for your execution.
And now, in this movie, add on top of it that you have the ability to just clone yourself and become invincible. Essentially, your clone can get executed for your crimes, and then you can continue to do whatever you want and indulge in these hedonistic pleasures with no consequences, really. This movie is about being able to pay out of any sort of consequences that you have. We see James kind of spiral into, this is a person that they very much establish at the beginning that has no money. His partner is the one with money. Her father is a rich publisher, and he has no money because he is pretty much a failed writer. He only had one book that did terrible. And so now he's getting a taste of what it's like to be in the 1% and be able to have this privilege. And he fucking laps it up like a dog.
Yes.
Ruff, ruff.
Yes.
But he also was under the impression that these people were a fan of his work. And ouch. Ouch to hear that they actually weren't and were using him just to continue their source of entertainment.
You're so pathetic, James. A real sucky baby. This whole time we've been laughing at you. You're just a bit of fun for us on our vacation.
How about we get to the cook?
Let's cook it up.
How are they presenting these themes that we just talked about? And, I think that they did a very good job of showing through action and through the story these themes. And even down to the small things. Like, I like in the beginning when they go out with Gabby and Alvin, Skarsgård is just peeing on the ground, and then Mia Goth comes up and just gives him a handy and comes on the ground, and then obviously they kill somebody and just drive away. These are all actions to show that they don't have really any respect for the place that they're in.
You don't understand Tolqa yet, but they are very generous with discipline, especially if they know you can pay.
That group was scary. And they were wearing those masks too that were probably closer to their real faces.
Yes.
Which was another part of it.
When they took them off, I was just like, no, please put them on.
I like at the beginning, though, how when we first come to the resort, the locals are wearing those masks because the 1%ers are definitely viewing the help as, oh, you're just the help. You're an ugly little whatever to serve me.
We pay you.
We pay you, so you wear these ugly masks. And then they become the ones who wear the masks. So who are the real ugly ones here? Though I love those masks. Those masks were creepy as fuck.
Very grotesque.
They're very grotesque. I want them around the house, to be honest, like up there.
And I love that they called themselves zombies.
He's curious about our new zombie. You don't have to be afraid, James. We are all zombies here.
I love.
Who are they really? You know, a zombie is a mindless person who just kills and just is looking for
A fill.
Like their desire is what pushes them and what keeps them going, which is exactly what this group of 1%ers was doing. Their desire to get pleasure. That was their, you know, the zombies usually want brains, but I think these zombies only wanted self-pleasure. So that's what they were mindlessly seeking, no matter the cost. No matter the cost. And after Skarsgård really indulged in being the zombie, and then they said that they went and got the police commissioner or the head of the police, and he was just wailing on him with his bag over his head, and then he took the bag off, and it was actually himself, another clone of himself. That's when it got too much for him. So it goes back to this idea of it's all fun and games until it actually affects you. And once it does that, then you're like, I'm out of here. I don't want this anymore. So that moment of him beating up himself was his moment of like...
And pissing on himself.
And pissing on
Yeah,
himself.
right.
Was his moment of being like, this is too far. It's now affecting literally myself, or at least a clone of myself. So I'm done. But then it was too far. He was too far into it, and he couldn't escape it.
And seemingly the first iteration, the first clone of himself that he had not sanctioned, one that he did not know about until that moment.
And like I joked when he found out that it was himself, it's like the whole when you point at someone, 3 other fingers are pointing back at you. How can we not view others as ourselves? We're the human race. You know, those people are people. And it goes as far as like animals. They're living creatures. We're living creatures. So to extend only to yourself, for yourself, and you're moving about life that way is not a great way to live. You have to care for others because you would like others to care for you. So if you're only caring for people that look like you,
literally look exactly like you,
is not great.
Not good.
Not good.
While we're in the cook, I also did want to mention about the acting, the performances, and it's specifically Skarsgård, because he kind of does start off as this like empty shell guy, but then definitely specifically in this scene that we're talking about where he beats up himself, he like makes his transformation into an animal.
The Latokans only understand one thing. You need to show them that you're the dominant in this conflict. Yeah. They're like baboons.
That scene was great as far as an acting performance goes, and I love his progression and downward spiral into that moment, because you saw little and little more pieces of himself falling away as the movie goes on. And so definitely tip my hat to him as far as his performance goes. I thought he was great.
Oh, yes. He was fantastic.
Yes.
And to be paired with someone so strong like Mia Goth is incredible, because she is a loose cannon.
What are you doing in there, James? Huh? Where do you think you're going, you little baby?
She's already there. Like, she was already indulged in this privileged life. And she, I mean, they've come to this island before, clearly.
Yes.
They've done this before. Yeah. But she eventually does get to a really scary point, too. Like, she starts off unhinged, but then gets even more unhinged as the movie goes on and more terrifying. And it's dead. Like, she's got nothing behind her eyes.
No, she's just playing. But the truest, scariest part for me, for her character, was when she was pretending that nothing had happened. And they're just talking about what they're going to do, remodel, what was it, the bathroom or whatever the fuck, in their big-ass mansion.
Which means I'll be eating alone and rearranging the house again.
Please don't.
Whenever I'm bored, I rearrange the house and it drives Alvin crazy.
You don't.
And all the while, he's sitting in the middle. You can see his expression, realizing that shift that happened with them. These are not the people that he was with these past few days.
Mm-hmm.
They're nothing like that. They've just turned on a dime, and he's that revelation in his head. What have I done? What does this mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who are these people really?
Well, he's lost all of himself, while these people are just going back to normal. How can you do that when you yourself feel like you have lost yourself?
I love the ending where we see the resort all packed up, closed for the season, and it's just raining, because the rain is going to wash away all the shit that just went on, and it's going to open next season cleansed by the storm season.
Cue
So they'll be
Hillary
back.
Doves. Let the rain fall and when my dreams
Exactly. And he was just sitting there because whether that is him physically or not, he's just thinking about it, or that's another clone. A part of himself died there and will always be there.
And the urns carrying his former selves, that those layers or those pieces of him, that the morality, whatever was that he wanted to keep in the urns.
Mm-hmm. He was wrapping them so carefully, to making sure they wouldn't break.
How do you have space in his suitcase to fit them?
Yeah, right.
3 of himself.
You have to weigh that at the airport, and they're like, "Sir, this is heavy. This is really heavy suitcase. You're gonna have to pay extra for this to check this." Let's get to the thrill. Let's get to the scary part of this. The scary part are these motherfucking rich people.
Mm-hmm.
These rich people. At first, the scary part to me was being in a country and you commit a crime. You don't know what the laws are. You don't understand how their judicial system works. So you're kind of just like at their whim.
Under our federal law in Tolqa, if you are responsible for the death of a man, including in the case of an avoidable accident, his eldest son should kill you to preserve the family's honor.
And then once he realizes that they can just clone him, and then that clone takes the consequences, the scary part became, okay, how do you take advantage of this?
There are, I'm sure, people who, when they're traveling, especially in groups, and they have money, they ask themselves, who am I going to be? Mm-hmm. Am I going to be the rich asshole? Am I just going to be one of the locals and, be giving out money and be this god kind of person to them?
Am I just going to hang by the pool?
I'm just gonna try to numb myself and just drink my life away and be by the pool.
Which was a lot of hallucinogens, a lot of controlled substances were gearing some of the scariest moments, the surrealistic and the nightmarish, whatever the imagery and the flash, whatever you're seeing is right there, and it is spurred on, and you're up in it. Like there's no turning away from it. You're seeing all of it. It is all there.
Yeah, and going towards the effects, I thought the effects were really cool.
Yeah.
That definitely reminded me of Cronenberg Senior.
Definite inspiration.
Yes.
Daddy Cronenberg.
Daddy Cronenberg, for sure. Loved the practical effects. The actual physical effects I thought were very effective, mixed with these hallucinogenic moments, made it very unsettling, very creepy.
It just was a well done movie. Yeah, the creepiness for me came from the there's people out there that are these people.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
And then at the end,
For sure.
too, where we finally get to with Skarsgård's character, Skarsgård, he is made into an animal, literally, by this group of people. He realizes at the end that he also is part of their hedonistic pleasures. He's just a plaything. He's a baby. He's a dog.
It's
time for you to shed that disgusting larval mind of yours and find out what kind of a creature you really are. Bring the dog.
That becomes scary too, is that they can just not only use the people of the country that they go to pay off, but anyone, really. They just found this other guy that's on the resort and just decided to make him into an animal. You see it all the time, like the Weinsteins. They were giving people parts in exchange for their pleasures. Or literally anyone that's in a position of power. I mean, yeah, we see it in the entertainment business all the time of, I have something that you want. I have this part. What are you willing to do to get to my level? But in the end, you are not at my level because I have this power over you forever. Mm-hmm. And that is scary. That is absolutely, because they can give it to you and immediately take it away whenever they want to, and just for fun sometimes.
And you know what's even scarier? When there's people around that see it and turn the other way. Mm-hmm. Or justify their actions or create a whole system so then these people who have the power and are abusing it can continue to do it because it is a lucrative system for all.
Which we did see in this movie with the fucking worker that worked at the resort who was just indulging in these people's fantasy.
Oh, and if any of you would like to purchase Eki masks, they are still available at the gift shop. Thank you. Thank you.
He was able to turn a blind eye to all of their ridiculous and scary fantasies and then profit off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even know what they were trying to accomplish.
Who knew what that Hasidic Jew thing was going to be? What the fuck?
I asked you guys, I was like, wait, what? Because y'all like reacted in such a way. When I saw it by myself, it like went over me because I don't view people like that. And so for them to be so exaggerated, it becomes so, like you mentioned, characterized.
Yeah, it was a caricature.
A caricature that it's like absolutely not its own thing. I'm not connecting the two because I would like to think that I'm so far removed from viewing people that way. It just like it didn't dawn on me, and I'm just like, oh, this continuation, this whole country is fucked.
Is this a dream? It would make more sense.
All right, let's get to the final ride. How overall entertained were we of this film?
The ride with Mia Goth or the ride in general?
Riding on that.
There were several rides going on. It's
the bus ride. And the
I'll take any of those rides with Mia Goth.
I don't think I ever want to take a ride with Mia Goth.
No.
She's scary as shit.
You either?
No, as enticing as it would be, I think how off the rails she is, I would quickly regret that decision. Certainly in Skarsgård's case, I do not want to be a slave being fed a bloody boob.
Okay, what does that say about me, you guys?
You want to be her doggy? Okay, you want to be her baby? Hey, to each their own. To each their own.
Tits their own.
To each their own. I mean, I was entertained the whole time. Like, it was a very much driving movie. It was almost 2 hours, but I didn't feel the runtime. I thought it was really, really good. You know, everything had a purpose, and everything felt like it was adding to the story and adding to the horror of this island. And I was definitely entertained through the whole ride.
It was all from his perspective too, so it felt all the more real. And watching him go through this and not sure what this is going to, how he's going to end up, how he's going to get or not get through this, and you're left just hanging or just reeling from this whole experience, and him just being soaked in the rain. Like, well, this is what had happened. So it is a bleak outlook on how a human can end up, or what, you know, if they do not control their own path, what other people will do with them as they see fit. And so it was a hard sit through, certainly in the theater, and even in the second time was a hard watch, but all entertaining all the while, and was cut and dry. Very little fat, just from bit to bit. You felt everything, and it was very purposeful.
I've seen other movies that have this kind of drive, but the themes are just as heavy, but they're just like fed to us over and over again, that at the end of the movie you're exhausted. Even though it was a well-made movie, you're just like dead along with the fucking character. And it doesn't end hopeful. So, but I like that because I think the character needs that kind of, now what the fuck do I do with my life? Who am I? And all these questions. Because at some point in our lives, we have asked ourselves that question. Like, what am I doing? Who am I? But hoping we don't shred ourselves to nothing in order to find who we are. So boundaries are important. And finding your own self-worth within yourself. Not through other people, not through your job, not through anything else. Just you have to look at yourself in the mirror and know who you're carrying along this journey with. Like, you know, you're the longest relationship you will ever know. So take care of yourself. And like,
I think that's probably what he was thinking right at the end when he was sitting in the rain. Like, who the fuck am I? What the fuck am I going to do now? And I did want to address the bloody boob part at the end. Because two things about it. One,
loved it. No, just kidding.
One, I actually didn't love it, but I'll get to that second. The first part I actually want to talk about is it reminded me a lot of the end of the book Grapes of Wrath, because that book is about the Great Depression and about giving yourself and sacrificing self for other people and sometimes strangers. Because how the end of that book happens is we have a character, a whole family that's traveling to the West in hopes of getting jobs. And then they get to the West and they realize there's no jobs there and it's very hopeless. And one of the characters is pregnant the whole time. And then at the end, she loses her baby because there's just not enough nutrients that anyone's getting, so the baby can't even survive. But she still has milk in her breast. And then they come across another grown man who is starving, and she actually breastfeeds him at the end so he can survive. That very much is a sacrifice of one's self and almost somewhat dignity to help a stranger. But in this movie, that end moment of her taking out her bloody boob and giving it to Skarsgård was only self-preservation, only for her pleasure, because she then, that was a power move. That was a move to show, I control you. I own you, little baby James.
He is a spineless worm and a bedwetter, and he'd sell his own mother for horse meat to save himself!
The second point I wanted to make about it was, I don't think I even needed that. I don't know. That, to me, that moment almost was a little too on the nose of what the movie's trying to say. Like, him in her arms crying, I got it. Her taking out her boob and, like, doing the whole, like, suckling thing, I was like, okay.
It lingered.
Okay.
We lingered.
I was like, I get it. It was a little too on the nose for me, I think.
You didn't like it?
I thought it was okay. Okay. I didn't think it was absolutely necessary. Not saying I don't want to see Mia Gal's boob, bloody boob, but
there was plenty of that.
There was plenty of that.
Well, it wasn't just bloody because it was bloody. She rubbed his blood from the pet clone from his hand onto her boob, and then he suckled off of it. So it was, I think it was literally just to make us absolutely just, we're lost. We are broken. along with James.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
she's broken him completely at this
absolutely.
point, feeding himself to himself.
She made him into the dog that he was, made him kill that part of himself, and now she is trying to do that thing of nurture and like violence. Like, you know how abusers tend to do, of just giving you just enough nurture for you to keep coming back after beating the shit out of you. And that's like fucking what she's doing. She's just feeding him just a little bit so he can keep coming back.
Infinity Pool.
Infinity Pool.
2023. Wow. What a ride. What a ride. Let's get to these Smash Pumpkins. Typically we start with the guest. Nate, do you have a number of Smash Pumpkins for this one?
You know, that as knowing that that was going to be a question asked, I was deliberating that a lot. And having seen Baby Cronenberg's movie before this, Possessor, and seeing the similarities and this being the progression of that, I wanted to look at this with a little more scrutiny and see what that meant, how I saw it, and what I with the story. So probably if I had to give the number, it would probably be a 4.5.
Nice. Yeah.
That's good. That's
Nice.
good.
Do you have a number?
I have a number. Yeah. I think that everything in this movie works for me, and I have never seen a Baby Cronenberg movie before. So this was my first experience with him, and I really enjoyed it. I really thought that he pulled the themes and the aesthetic through the entire time, and very well acted, and gave us a lot to talk about, a lot to think about, which I really appreciate. I think I will also give it a 4.5.
Yep. I'm also going to give it a 4.5.
Wow.
There's nothing really that I would fault it for. I love the colors. Absolutely. I think that's something that he should stick with, and it's going to make us be like, yep, that's a Baby Cronenberg movie. You know, the yellows he produces are just so beautiful. And whoever he is helping him cast, keep them. I'm talking to you, Baby Cronenberg. I hope you're seeing this. Keep them, because I think you guys are doing great things together. The cinematography, the shots. I love, like I mentioned earlier, the usage of just when it's done appropriately and it's not so in your face, or we keep repeating these movements over and over again. The switching of the camera angles and using all sorts of reflections. I love that. I thought it was very tasteful. It went with the story. So good. I liked it.
We liked it.
We liked it here.
We all liked it. 4.5 is pretty high. So, wow. Infinity Pool. Glad we got to watch it on the pod. Let's see what we're watching next week. As the guest, you actually get to pull from the bucket, Nate. So
it's right next to
you. Go down in there and reach in. And as I'm sure you know, read the logline first to us, and we will try to guess what it is.
All right. I dug deep and let us see.
It's an 80s movie, I feel.
Whoa. Okay. Cool.
I have a feeling.
Feeling the 80s. Let's see what we got.
Oh, okay. Are we ready?
Ready.
Oh, yeah.
A French village doctor becomes the target of poison pen letters sent to village leaders accusing him of affairs and practicing abortion.
Ooh, abortion is scary. I actually have no idea what this is. It sounds like maybe like a 60s movie or something.
This goes back to 1943.
Whoa!
Le Corbeau.
Le Corbeau.
Le Corbeau.
Henri Georges Clouzot.
Did they make them just as scary in 1940s?
Maybe scary.
In France, yes. Yes, certainly in the midst of World War
France.
II, 43, so.
Why?
Yeah, we've already had a French film on this season before, and we all remember how that turned out. So here we go.
I'm still broken from it.
I'll always be broken from that. Wow. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for pulling a.
My
1940
hands
film.
are so sweaty.
French extremism was not invented yet.
Maybe this was the start, though. We don't know. We don't know.
Cry, French people.
Nate, thank you so much for
Yay.
being on the pod. Really appreciate you coming by. Would you like to plug yourself at all? Anything you got going on, or
If anything, I will throw in just the Instagrams. That is probably
You got it.
the
Go for it.
one and only at Nate's here. So N number 8 S here.
Yeah.
Nate's here and he's
Nate's
here.
here. He is.
He's here.
He's here and he's there.
He's here. He's there.
And you can call us at
773
ooh 669 6677. Leave us anything. Just don't make it dirty.
You can make it dirty if you want. If it's funny, I'll take it. We actually had we've had a couple calls come in.
Lordy Jesus
We've had a
Christ.
couple calls come in. A couple from Sal, actually.
My brother.
Yeah. So maybe if you call in, we'll share some of these on the show.
I love you, brother.
Thank you, Sal. Great messages from you so far.
He didn't even tell me.
Oh, he probably thought you were listening to the messages.
He's one of our biggest fans. My brother. I love you.
Appreciate you, Sal.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, you can follow me on Instagram, Color Me Leslie.
And me at Beep Beep Richie T. You can follow us at the Deadlights Pod.
Yes, you may.
And until next time.
Yeah. Let's get
spooky.
Ooh.
Oh, let's go resort on an island.
No. I'm fine in my bedroom. Thank you.
How many Sams can you handle?